Le député de Kent-Nord.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As many, I was speechless on Friday, and I do join my colleagues in giving my condolences to the Moore, the Levi family, and the Brady Francis family that we're not mentioning, but is still a very important issue. While these communities have healing walks, I think that it's very important for us as legislators to start thinking about how we could concretely change things. To paraphrase Ibram Kendi, education, love, and exemplary Black, Indigenous people and people of color in exemplifying Black, Indigenous, and people of color will not deliver us from racism. Racist ideals grow out of discriminatory policies, not the other way around. So, Mr. Speaker, we must commit to dismantling the structures, values, and practices that carry out, tolerate, or benefit from racist policies and actions, whether by government or non-government actors. We have built a system in which public policies, institutional practices, cultural representation, and other norms work in various, often reinforcing ways to perpetuate racial group inequity. It identifies dimensions of our history and culture that have allowed privilege associated with whiteness and disadvantages associated with colors to endure and adapt over time. Structural racism is not something that a few people or institutions choose to practice. Instead, it has been a feature of the social, economic, and political system in which we all exist. And here in New Brunswick and in Canada, our system is rooted in colonialism and racism and general unfairness. Like I was saying a while ago, that in New Brunswick and in Canada, our system is rooted in colonialism and racism, general unfairness. This is systemic. We talk about systemic, structural racism. And it's time, I think, we have hard conversations. It's time that the land that we are on, that we admit, and that we are on unceded territory. And I truly think that what we need as action, we need to have protected ridings to ensure Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik representation here in this legislative assembly. And if I go even further, Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, and say that I think that we should be thinking about, we talk about the Crown and First Nations signing treaties. The rightful owners of this land are First Nations, and we should have First Nations as head of state, Mr. Speaker. And that would be revolutionary, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.